Well, good morning, all, and welcome to the Wednesday check-in with Pastor Brian. That's me. It's good to be with you on this Wednesday morning, even as it is rainy and unseasonably cold. It brings me warmth to be with you in this way. So it's a joy to be with you. I am coming from what is called the Carver Room, and this is off of Parish Hall. And I can't remember for sure if I have been here today, or if I've been here before, but I'm here today thinking about a lot of truths that are spoken in this room, because you may or may not know that this room is actually used for our Alcoholics Anonymous. We have several groups that meet here, and the 12 steps and the 12 traditions are actually on the wall back there. That's a whole topic for another day. But in that 12 step, if you've ever been a part of that or know how the 12 steps work, there's a lot of truth telling in it, admitting that we are not God, that there are things that we can control and things we can't in order to move forward and take control of our lives. And while that's very useful for people with addictions, it's also just very useful for people who are navigating life and all that it throws at them. Many of you might know that I suffered a loss in my family this week as my brother-in-law, my sister's husband, died very unexpectedly at age 40. And that has been a whirlwind since last Monday when it happened. And I spent a lot of time in Council Bluffs and will be spending lots more as I can, lots of time over there. So we are grappling with what that looks like, what the new normal looks like, and we are in the throes of grief. And so I ask for your prayers continued on that. But I also want to say thank you to the many of those that have offered prayers for us, our family, as we navigate what this looks like in the days ahead. And so I think that often these times help us as a community to think and reflect upon our own lives. Because I would bet many of you have gone through some of these traumatic times, these times of unthinkable loss and pain and hurt in your own lives. And I'm sure some of you listening today have even experienced something similar to what my family is going through. But the importance of community is that we have a chance to be able to talk and reflect together and to tell important truths. And one of those truths that I think as we all navigate painful times in our lives, especially loss that is sudden and that takes us by surprise, is that in that time of grief, we often say things like, hold your babies tight, or hold the people that you love tighter today. Give them a hug. Tell them you love them. And while sometimes that advice might seem a little cliche, I have found it is so very true. It is reminding me over and over again to not take for granted the time that I have been gifted on earth, and to think about those that I love, to show them that love, to visit them, to send that text, to give my help when needed, and to not hesitate to do something about that till tomorrow when I can do it today, when I can make that call, when I can make that visit, when I can do those things to show that love today. So oftentimes, I think in these acute moments of pain and grief and mourning, we know these truths in a new way. And I want to read quickly from Ecclesiastes. I had planned to share a bit from Proverbs today, but we'll save that for another day, as I thought this was a good time to talk about this kind of truth. From Ecclesiastes 7, Ecclesiastes is full of wisdom, full of truths that we can learn in little nugget fashion, but also as it relates to life together. And one of the things it talks about in the writer of Ecclesiastes talks about in chapter 7 is that it is better to go to the house of mourning than to the house of feasting. For this is the end of everyone, and the living will lay it to heart. And I think among many things that says, what that is really getting at, being in the house of mourning than in the house of feasting, is that those who are in mourning have a very keen sense of what it means to be able to have life. Those that are experiencing death in their life, death next to them, death near them, have a very, very near sense of the value and the luxury, even the privilege of having breath, having life, having a beating heart. And it is those who know especially what it means to lose someone who will live their life to the fullest. And I think this gets back to a little bit to what I was talking about. This idea of remembering, refocusing during that time of incredible loss in your life, of saying, well, I don't want to take for granted this person and this person and this person, because I know what it was like, because I lost this person. And so I hope today, I especially am thinking about this with the loss of Adam and how I can continue to show that love, both to my family and my friends, but also to people that I have never met or don't know, strangers. Kindness to all who I come in contact with is my goal and what I cherish. And I know a lot of that is in focus right now. And so I hope for you, as you in your life navigate times of hurt and pain and grief, but also just as we navigate together what it means to live in Christian community and with our Christian call, that we would remember to not take for granted the time and the space that we are given in our lives, even as we may not see it as important or valuable. I assure you it is. God has given you the gift of time on this earth. Don't squander it. Use it to show love, to sow peace, and to walk humbly with God. I leave that with you today as a word of hope, encouragement, and refocus. God be with you. Talk to you later.